If I told you the 2030 economy is already here, it just hasn't knocked on your door yet, you might think I'm talking about some distant future, some sci-fi world that's years away. But I'm not. The 2030 economy is already happening, right now. It's already in your phone, the apps you use, the way you work, the way you shop. It's already in your job, the tools you're expected to know, the skills that suddenly matter, the way companies hire and fire. It's already in your bills, the way things cost more, the way subscriptions pile up, the way normal life keeps getting more expensive. And here's what most people don't realize. The biggest danger isn't the future. The biggest danger is using old money habits in a new money world. Because the rules are changing. Not overnight, not with some dramatic announcement, but steadily, quietly, like water rising in a room. Slow enough that you don't panic, but fast enough that if you're not paying attention, one day you look down and your feet are wet, then your knees, then you're scrambling to stay afloat. And most people won't notice until it's already too late. So today, I'm not going to sell you hype. I'm not going to scare you with doom predictions. I'm not going to promise you'll get rich quick if you just follow some secret formula. Today, I'm going to give you something simple, something practical, a financial survival kit for the 2030 economy. Not fortune-telling, not guessing, just essential skills that make you harder to break. Skills that work whether the economy booms or crashes. Skills that protect you no matter what happens next. Because the goal here isn't to predict the future. Nobody can do that. The goal is to be prepared no matter what happens. Welcome to Centsive, where money finally makes sense. The big myth about future-proofing your finances. Most people think future-proofing your finances means pick the perfect job that will never disappear. Pick the perfect stock that will skyrocket. Guess the next big thing before everyone else does. Get into the right industry at exactly the right time. And if you believe that, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Because that's not future-proofing. That's fortune-telling. That's gambling. That's hoping you get lucky. Real future-proofing is simpler. And honestly, it's more powerful. Real future-proofing is building skills that work in any economy. Let me give you an analogy. Think about learning how to swim. When you learn to swim, you're not trying to predict the waves. You're not studying ocean patterns. You're not memorizing tide schedules. You're becoming someone who can handle waves. Any waves. Big waves, small waves, unexpected waves. It doesn't matter, because you know how to swim. That's what real financial future-proofing really is. It's not about predicting what's coming. It's about becoming the kind of person who can handle whatever comes. So here's the truth. The 2030 economy will reward people who are adaptable, not rigid, not stuck in one way of doing things. Calm, not panicking, not chasing every trend. Skilled, not guessing, not hoping, but actually capable. And financially organized, not perfect, just intentional. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to know everything. You just need to be ready. And ready looks different than you think. What's actually changing by 2030? All right, let's talk about what's actually shifting. Not predictions, not guesses, just trends that are already in motion. By 2030, which is only 4 years away, by the way, you're going to see more of this. More automation. Not robots taking over the world, just more tasks getting automated. Some jobs get faster because technology handles the boring parts. Some jobs disappear entirely because machines can do them cheaper. Some jobs change shape. They still exist, but they look completely different. More AI tools. And I'm not talking about science fiction AI. I'm talking about everyday AI. Writing assistants, research tools, customer service bots, design helpers. Not just for tech people, for teachers, for marketers, for accountants, for everyone. If you're working in 2030 and you're not using some form of AI, you're working harder than you need to. More gig work and contract work. The traditional one job for 30 years path? It's not dead, but it's rare. More people are earning money from multiple places, a main job plus a side gig, contract work instead of full-time employment, freelancing, project-based income, multiple streams instead of one big river. More remote competition. Here's a big one. You're not just competing with people in your city anymore. You're competing with people online. Someone in another state or another country can do your job remotely. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because if they can compete with you, you can compete with them too. The door swings both ways. More expensive normal life. Housing costs keep climbing. Food gets more expensive. Insurance premiums go up. Healthcare costs feel impossible. Even the basics, the things you need just to survive, keep getting more expensive. And wages? Wages don't always keep up, so the squeeze gets tighter. That's the world we're moving into. Not a dystopia, not a utopia, just a different world with different rules. And the question becomes, how do you protect yourself in a world where change is the only constant? Answer? You build financial skills that don't expire. Skills that work whether we're in a boom or a recession. Skills that work whether you're employed or freelancing. Skills that work no matter what happens to your industry. Let's go through them. The 7 essential skills for the 2030 economy. Skill number 1, the 2-bucket system, safety plus growth. If you only learn one money skill this year, if you only take one thing from this entire video, learn this. You need 2 buckets, not 1, not 10, 2. Bucket 1, safety. This is your emergency money, your life happens money, your oh crap, the car broke down money. This bucket is for rent when you lose your job, food when money gets tight, bills that still need to be paid, car repairs that can't wait, medical expenses that pop up, any surprise expense that would otherwise wreck you. Peace of mind. This money is not trying to be a hero. It's not trying to grow 10% a year. It's not trying to beat the stock market. It's trying to be a shield, a cushion, a buffer between you and disaster. This money needs to be accessible, liquid, in a savings account or checking account where you can grab it fast if you need it. Bucket 2, growth. This is money you don't need right away, money that can sit for years, money that's meant to grow over time. This is your future you money. This bucket is for retirement investing, index funds, long-term accounts, boring, steady growth that compounds over decades. This money can handle ups and downs. It can survive a bad year in the market because it's not meant for emergencies. It's meant for the long game. Here's why both buckets matter. Safety without growth makes you stuck. You're protected, sure, but you're not building anything. You're not moving forward. You're just surviving. And growth without safety makes you fragile. You're building wealth, maybe, but one emergency can wipe you out. One unexpected expense, and you have to sell your investments at the worst possible time. By 2030, fragile people break fast. Balanced people survive. And the people who thrive? They're the ones who built both buckets early. Skill number 2. Make your income multi-engine. In the old economy, the one your parents grew up in, one job could be enough. One stable job with benefits. Work there for 30 years, get a pension, retire. That was the path. And for some people, that path still exists. But for most people, in the new economy, one job is often one point of failure. One company can let you go. One industry can collapse. One economic shift can make your job obsolete. So the goal isn't to work yourself to death with 3 jobs. The goal isn't to hustle 24/7 until you burn out. The goal is to build a second engine. Think of it like a plane. A plane with one engine is risky. If that engine fails, you're in trouble. A plane with 2 engines is safer. If one engine fails, the other one keeps you in the air. Same idea with income. Build a second income path. A skill you can sell online. A service you can offer on weekends. Freelance work in your field. A digital product you create once and sell repeatedly. Tutoring, consulting, writing, designing, coding. anything honest that can grow over time. This isn't about becoming a billionaire. This isn't about replacing your main income immediately. This is about becoming harder to trap, harder to corner, harder to control. Because in the 2030 economy, your best protection isn't job security. It's options. The person with 2 income streams can take risks the person with 1 income stream can't. They can say no to a bad boss. They can leave a toxic workplace. They can negotiate better because they're not desperate. Options equal power, and power equals freedom. Skill number 3. Learn the money math people avoid. Most people avoid numbers. They hate math. They get anxious when they have to look at spreadsheets. I get it. But here's the problem. Money is numbers. And if you avoid the numbers, you're flying blind. So let's keep it simple. You don't need to become an accountant. You don't need to understand complex financial formulas. You just need to know 3 numbers. That's it. 3. Number 1, your monthly survival number. How much does it cost me to live for 1 month? Rent, food, utilities, transportation, insurance, debt payments. Add it all up. That's your survival number. If you know that number, you know how much runway you have if something goes wrong. If you have $5,000 saved and your survival number is $2,500, you have 2 months of runway. That's powerful information. Number 2, your debt interest rate. If you have debt, credit cards, loans, whatever, you need to know how fast is my debt growing. If you're paying 22% interest on a credit card and you're only making minimum payments, you're not getting ahead. You're drowning in slow motion. Knowing that number tells you where to focus your energy first. Number 3, your savings and investing rate. How much am I building each month? Not how much you want to save, how much you're actually saving. Are you putting away $100 a month? $500? $0? If you don't know this number, you don't have a plan. You have a wish, and wishes don't pay bills. Money clarity is not fancy. It's not complicated. It's basic, but basic wins. It's the difference between driving with headlights on and driving in the dark hoping you don't crash. Skill number 4. Protect your credit like it's your reputation. In the 2030 economy, trust is everything. And your credit score? Your credit score is basically your financial reputation. It's not your value as a person. Let me be very clear about that. It's not your worth, it's not your character, it's not your heart. It's simply a system asking one question. Do you pay your bills on time? That's it. But that simple question affects everything. It affects whether you get approved for an apartment, what interest rate you pay on a car loan, whether you can get a credit card, sometimes even whether you get hired for certain jobs. So if you want to future-proof your finances, you protect your reputation with money. Here are the Centsive rules. Pay on time like it's oxygen. Not most of the time. Every time. Even if it's just the minimum payment. On time. Keep credit usage low. If you have a $1,000 credit limit, don't use $950 of it. Keep it under 30%, ideally under 10%, because high utilization looks desperate and desperation looks risky. Don't apply for a bunch of stuff at once. Every credit application creates a hard inquiry. 1 or 2? Fine. 5 in 1 month? Red flag. Build slowly and consistently. Credit history rewards time. The longer you've been using credit responsibly, the stronger your score. Because a good credit score doesn't just help you borrow money, it helps you get better interest rates, pay less for big purchases, access better options, avoid expensive life. Here's a painful truth. Bad credit makes everything cost more. You pay higher interest, you pay bigger deposits, you pay more for insurance. Everything gets more expensive when your score is low. Good credit makes life lighter, easier, cheaper. It's not fair, but it's the system. And understanding the system lets you use it instead of being used by it. Skill number 5. Become AI literate, even if you're not techie. Let me say this as carefully as I can. By 2030, AI won't replace everyone. That's not what's happening. But here's what is happening. People who use AI well will replace people who refuse to learn it. Not because AI is magic, but because AI is leverage. It's a tool, a powerful tool. It's like having an assistant who never sleeps, never gets tired, and works for free. And if you're competing against someone who has that assistant and you don't, you're working twice as hard for half the result. So your future-proof move is simple. Learn how to use AI tools. You don't need to become a programmer. You don't need to understand how the technology works under the hood. You just need to be comfortable using it. AI can help you write faster. Emails, reports, proposals. Plan better. Schedules, projects, goals. Learn skills, tutorials, explanations, practice. Organize work, tasks, files, priorities. Make content, graphics, videos, presentations. Improve resumes, wording, formatting, optimization. Research problems, answers, solutions, comparisons. These tools exist right now. Most of them are free or cheap, and the people who learn to use them calmly, they win. Over the people who panic, over the people who resist, over the people who say, I'm not good with technology. Because being good with technology in 2030 just means being willing to try. That's it. Just try. The person who tries and learns beats the person who refuses every single time. Skill number 6, master the anti-scam filter. The 2030 economy will have more opportunity than ever before. More ways to make money, more ways to learn, more ways to connect. But it will also have more traps, more fake gurus selling courses they don't believe in, more easy money schemes that sound too good to be true, more scams dressed up like legitimate success stories. So future-proofing means building one powerful habit: skepticism. Not cynicism, not refusing to trust anything, just healthy skepticism. Here's the filter. If it promises fast money with no effort, it's probably a trap. Real wealth is boring. Real wealth is slow. Real wealth is built on skills that take time to develop, value you provide to other people, consistency over months and years, time and patience. That's not sexy. It won't get 1 million views on TikTok, but it works. Before you make any money move, ask yourself 3 questions. 1. Who profits if I believe this? If someone is selling you a course on how to get rich, they get rich by selling courses. That doesn't mean that it's a scam, but it means you should ask, what are they really selling? 2. What's the downside risk? If this goes wrong, what do I lose? If the answer is everything, that's not an investment, that's a gamble. And 3. Do I understand it in simple words? If you can't explain what you're investing in to a 10-year-old, you don't understand it. And if you don't understand it, don't put your money in it. Period. Because confusion is expensive. Clarity is cheap. Skill number 7. Train your calm money brain. This is the skill nobody talks about, but it matters more than all the others. Because the future will feel loud. There will be headlines screaming at you, market crashes, crypto hype, economic fear, new trends every week. Everyone telling you what to do. Everyone saying the sky is falling or the moon is next. And money punishes panic. Panic makes you sell at the bottom. Panic makes you chase hype. Panic makes you quit your plan right before it works. So your financial superpower isn't intelligence. It's not luck. It's not being born rich. Your financial superpower is calm. Calm people do the basics. They save consistently even when it's boring. They pay down bad debt even when it's slow. They invest steadily even when the market is scary. They build skills even when progress feels invisible. They avoid traps even when everyone else is jumping in. They stay consistent even when it's not exciting. Calm is not weakness. Calm is not passivity. Calm is control. And control is freedom. The person who stays calm while everyone else panics, that person wins. Not because they're smarter, but because they didn't break. The 2030 Future-Proof Plan. Simple and actionable. All right, let's put this all together. Here's a simple, actionable plan you can start this month. You don't need fancy apps. You don't need a financial advisor. You don't need thousands of dollars. You just need to start. Step 1. Build your safety bucket. Start with a starter emergency fund. Even $500 makes a difference. Even $300. Just get something there. Then build it up slowly to $1,000, then to 1 month of expenses, then to 3 months. You don't need to do it overnight. Just move in that direction. Step 2. Kill high-interest debt. If you have credit card debt eating you alive at 20% interest, attack it aggressively, because that debt is a predator. It pulls you backward faster than you can move forward. Use the debt snowball method or the debt avalanche method, whichever one keeps you motivated. Just get it gone. Step 3. Start the growth bucket. Even if it's just $50 a month, even if it's just $25, set it to automatic. Put it in a simple index fund, long-term, boring, consistent, and then forget about it. Don't check it every day. Don't panic when it goes down. Just let it grow. Step 4. Build a second income engine. Pick one skill you can sell, just one. Writing, design, coding, tutoring, consulting. Whatever matches your abilities. Start small. Offer it to one person, then 2, then 5. Grow steadily. You're not trying to replace your main income in month 1, you're trying to build a safety net. Step 5. Upgrade your tool set. Get comfortable using modern tools. AI for writing or research, budgeting apps for tracking, online platforms for learning, not for hype, for power, for leverage. That's it. That's the plan. 5 steps, simple but strong, not flashy but effective. And the beautiful thing about simple plans, they actually get done. The deeper point. Let's zoom out for a second, because I want to make sure you understand why this matters. You don't future-proof your finances just to have money. Money sitting in an account isn't the goal. A big number on a screen doesn't make you happy by itself. You future-proof your finances to buy something much more valuable. Options. And options are freedom. Freedom to say no to a job that's destroying your mental health. Freedom to breathe when an emergency hits. Freedom to move if you need to. Freedom to handle life's chaos without falling apart. Freedom to help family when they need it. Freedom to take a risk on something you believe in. Freedom to build something real instead of just surviving. That's what we're really talking about. Not money, freedom. And in the 2030 economy, freedom will belong to the people who prepared early. Not perfectly, not with some genius plan, just consistently. One small decision after another. One smart choice after another. Building slowly, building steadily, building with intention. Because the people who wait for the perfect moment to start, they never start. The people who say, I'll do it when I have more money, they never have more money. The people who panic and chase every trend, they burn out and give up. But the people who start small and stay consistent, they win. Not overnight, but eventually. And eventually is better than never. So if you've been feeling behind, if you've been feeling like the rules changed and nobody told you, if you've been feeling like everyone else has it figured out except you, you're not crazy, you're not lazy, you're not broken, you're not stupid. You're just living in a world that's moving faster than it used to, and nobody handed you the manual. Nobody sat you down in school and taught you this. Nobody explained how money actually works in the modern world. But now you have it. The manual, the map, the plan. Safety plus growth. Skills plus calm. Options plus discipline. That's future-proof finance. It's not complicated. It's not glamorous. It's not going to make you a millionaire next month. But it will make you harder to break, harder to trap, harder to control, and easier to breathe. If this gave you a new way to see money, if something clicked, if you feel a little less confused and a little more capable, hit subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. This is Centsive, and I'll always show you where to look.